Hey, good afternoon. It's Monday. I know I'm a little early. I thought I would go live early because I have a big topic to talk about today, which is taxes. And I think it's going to take up the whole hour. So, oh, hold on. Hey, good afternoon. Oh, I thought I had it muted. Shoot, it didn't work. So I thought I'd go ahead and go live a few minutes early so it gives people time to get in here before I start literally a PowerPoint presentation. I put together a PowerPoint. Let's see. I gotta look at my comments. I got some people rolling in. I can see them over on YouTube. I wish Streamyard would get quicker. So first, hey Penny, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And Michael, the Thrifting Goomba. If you guys aren't watching Michael's channel, make sure you subscribe. And I do have a rolling tick disclaimer at the bottom, which I will be saying a number of times that I am not a tax professional and to please consult with a CPA. Hey, Amy. Yay, my sister's here. And yeah, I was like, okay, so normally I talk about my haul, which actually I did a video on my haul, so I'm not going to go over that this time. So you go and watch my videos. Oh, I got an itch on my leg. Go watch the videos on my channel. I posted 3 of them this weekend. One was a haul video from a thrift store. Another one was a haul video, which by the way, on the outside of that thrift store was a surprise. So watch the video and you'll see. And then I did garage sale, yard sales on Saturday and videotaped that for the first time, which was really weird and uncomfortable. And I don't know. I think I got to get like one of those backpacks where people put their GoPro on it or something because I was using my phone and it just didn't seem right. So watch those videos. Plus, I also have, hey Penny, thank you for subscribing to my channel. It just popped up. And I also have a video where I'm going to start doing this thing called travel time chit chat or something like that. And it's pretty much just me talking. So I don't have a lot of time where I can just sit at my desk and talk to you guys because I got so many things going on all the time. So I thought when I'm in the car, might as well go ahead and start talking about some reselling topics with you guys and posting it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if it's going to be a format people like or not. It'll be good for people who are listening who want to just listen and not look because I won't be showing things. I'll just be talking. So Jennifer, thank you so much. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. It moved up. Thank you. Yes, come back and rewatch if you want to get some notes on taxes. But again, I am not a professional. I said for entertainment only. We'll see. I don't know if I'm very entertaining. Hey, Junku, am I saying that right? Junku Trader. So welcome. And all right, so while we got a couple more minutes till we are officially starting, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys, ladies, gentlemen, some of the items that I have thrifted or that I sold. So I'm just going to do a really quick sold video. Okay. Let me see if this does it right. So I just want to go through these quickly while we are waiting for everybody to kind of jump in at noontime. So I'm going to watch my YouTube to make sure I'm sharing this right. I wish I could see it like on my screen. I just don't know what I'm doing. I really need a StreamYard lesson. I keep saying that, but okay. It looks like it's working okay. All right, good. So first I sold this Peppa Pig carrier. And I actually received an offer on this one of $25 and I accepted it on Mercari. I was selling it for $29. And this was actually sourced by my sister for me at CVS. I paid $1.99. These were originally, I think, $19.99. And on clearance, 90% off, got it for $25. And then I sold it for $25 plus free shipping. And it fit perfectly in a 12 by 12 by 8 box. And I put it into that and I just put like one thing of bubble stuff on the top of those air pillows and it was a perfect size. And then this was, I bought this at Walmart. I think I paid $5 for it. I had to take the price tag off from it today. And this is a Mario backpack. It was really nice. For some reason, I can sell Nintendo on Amazon, but I couldn't sell this Mario backpack. So I threw it on Amazon, cross-posted to Macari, got an offer of $28, and away that went. And then I sold, I'm sorry, I can't see. All right, there's no questions. All right, just making sure. And then I sold this Thermacell. I picked up a bunch of these last year on clearance at Lowe's. And at the time, I was not hazmat approved. So I didn't send them into Amazon, which I can now do. But I hung on to them because I was still selling them at a pretty good rate. And I sold actually 2 of them this weekend. I had an offer of $28 that I accepted. And then I sold this one for $32. And I'm all out. And then I have this puzzle. I bought this for $10 at Walmart and sold it for $43.91. So puzzles are still selling. So even if you see them, they're not going as quick as they were, but they are still selling. And then this set of 4 My Little Pony dolls, I got these at, let me see, these were at Walgreens. I think they were after Christmas clearance. I paid $14 for the set of 4 of them. So they must have been, well, whatever that is by math. I don't want to do math. It's Monday. But I sold them for $32 plus shipping. And they actually fit in one of those small like t-shirt boxes that the post office has. No, they're down there. They were like a perfect size. They fit perfectly in those. And I just put 1 ear pillow on the top. And then these I got from a liquidation from the 888 lots liquidation. You can see I got 43 of these. I got a whole bunch of them. And I sold it for $12.68. And I paid $2 for this. And I went first class. And then these, if you see these at your Walmart, they're $20 a box. And so I had 4 of them and I sold all 4 to the same buyer. So there's not a huge profit, but there was a little bit of profit. I don't know if as we get closer to the NFL season and college football, I don't know if even college football will come back. If students are going back to college, we'll see how that happens and what plays out with that. But I mean, obviously the Panini Mosaic basketball cards, they're still doing pretty good, but I'm not sure about these football cards. And then of course, Christmas sells year round, right? Somebody in June needed a pair of Christmas socks. I paid like pennies for this, like maybe not even a penny. Literally, it was from this that you probably have heard me say a couple times, a Party City clearance, and I had like a whole cart full of stuff, and these were in there, and they just did like this one lump sum for a whole cart. I had costumes and everything else. So, all right, so that is that, and let me get back to my Streamyard, and let me just stop sharing here for a minute. And who else popped in that I can say hi to? Hello, Jane. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Nate. Thanks for stopping in. And there we go. That's our newbies. I just want to close these windows that I just showed you, and then we will get right to talking taxes. Now, again, I am not a tax professional. I am not a CPA. I did go to college for business and accounting, but I don't really know anything about anything. I do my own taxes, though. I probably could be doing them wrong. Most likely I'm doing something wrong, and you probably shouldn't listen to me, but I'm going to tell you anyhow. That's my disclaimer. I don't know. Before I get started, does anybody listen to Handle on the Law on the radio station? I got to pull back up my YouTube on my other screen here so I can see your chats before it comes up. So Handle on the Law, if you've never listened to him, he has a podcast. He's on the radio stations on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. here. And he is a lawyer. And people call in and ask him lawyer questions. And he's always like, I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. You don't have a case, even though they may probably really have a good case. He just jokingly tells them like things like that. And he calls them morons, and he's degrading, but it's in a entertainment value way. You know that when you call into a show if you watch it. So he does that as a disclaimer because he has been sued because he has told people things before, even though he jokingly says things. People have actually sued him for advice he has given. So I just want to remind you all that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not a tax accountant. All right. So, hello, Never Too Old. You're new to my channel. I don't think I've seen you here before. So, welcome. I appreciate you coming in. Sorry. So now I'm going to try and share a PowerPoint. Can you imagine? I actually put together a PowerPoint. I haven't done that in years since I've stopped working in the corporate world. And I've never shared one here before. So I literally clicked on it and clicked off from the screen. Hold on, I got to get back to Streamyard. Oh my gosh, you would think I didn't know anything about stuff like this. All right. So application window. Let's see how this works. Share. Oh, I'm not even on the first page. Well, that didn't work. Oh, and I also forgot my little tiny intro. I am just not doing good at all today. If I'm on here, can I go ahead and start this show? How do I? Now I got to remember how to do this so it takes up the full screen. Oh, it opened up. Hold on. It opened it up on my other screen. Well, I'm probably just going to do it like this, and hopefully you guys can handle this. And I'm going to keep looking over to the side here because this is where my chat's going to be while I'm talking to you guys. Because I'm not, oh wait, it showed up good on you. All right, wait, hold on. Let me look. Let me try this again. How can I bring this over? It won't let me. I won't be able to see your questions if I do that. Yeah, good entertainment today. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I am just, yeah, see, I don't know. So I am just going to have to do it like what you see it now. There. I'm going to have to do it like this because I can't figure out how to do it another way. All right. So lunch break Monday. Welcome, welcome. Taxes and accounting for online sellers. I am not a CPA or tax professional. Please consult a tax professional. And I'll actually give you some resources at the end of 2 tax professionals that I know that deal with online resellers. Of course, I don't use either of them. I do my own taxes. And again, I am sure I'm doing my taxes incorrectly. So today we are going to talk about sales tax, federal income tax, state income tax, and I put on local taxes, but we're actually not going to talk about it except for this one thing that some states and local areas have additional business fees. Some like towns, if you have a business, they charge you. Here where I live, there's no fees. But in California, they do charge a minimum of $800 a year for an LLC. All right. So, but we're not going to talk about that because honestly, I don't know. I don't know what your town and state and all that kind of stuff charges. So we're going to talk about sales tax. Okay, Jane, thank you for telling me this will work because I don't really know how else to do it any other way. So sales tax, because there are 3 different types of taxes. Sometimes people get confused when they start talking about taxes and they're like, oh, I don't have a reseller's permit. And I'm like, well, we're talking about federal income taxes. You don't need a reseller's permit to file your federal income taxes. So I just wanted to clarify what all of these different taxes mean. So sales tax, of course, is your sales and use tax that you pay at the state and sometimes your local, county, whatever level. Like here in New York, we have a sales tax, but it's broken down between part of it's the state and some of it's the county. I don't know. It's 8%. It's a lot. It's very high, I think. So you file your sales tax that you collect with your state department. But before you can do that, you have to get a reseller's permit or a license. And here in New York, it's free to do. Like it was really simple. Within 5 minutes, you fill out a form, submit it, and they send you stuff back saying you're approved. And then they send you something in the mail, which I don't have my certificate here, but I have like a little orange reddish certificate. And it just says that I can collect sales tax. But that number allows me to be able to go to Walmart and purchase stuff for tax-free there. So at Walmart, when you go to customer service, you give them that little sheet or that little thing or whatever, and they have you fill out a form, and they give you a little card that you can use when you're shopping there and not have to pay taxes. So if you live in a tax-free state like New Hampshire and Oregon, and I don't even know where else, that's wonderful. You don't have to do that. But if you live in a state like mine where they tax you to death, then it is great to not have to pay that 8% and then have to go and charge my customer 8% also, right? I mean, that's horrible. And if you have questions as we go along, feel free to throw them in. Here, I'm looking over to the side. I see no questions, so we'll keep going. And if you decide you want to start ordering wholesale, so I have some videos where I've been doing liquidation, and I just showed you where I've been selling those notepads from 888 lots. That was, they consider that like wholesale, so you had to show that you were a legal business, and you need a reseller's permit a lot of times to order from those type of websites. So if you're getting onto Amazon, it is really a good idea to get that reseller's permit. I mean, it is a pain because you do have to file your state sales tax reports, and but which we'll hit on next, but it's worth it to be able to get ungated in things like toys and health and beauty and topicals and all that kind of stuff. So get that certificate because it really will help you in the long run, especially again on Amazon. On eBay, I mean, if you're mostly thrifting and stuff, it's not as big of a deal, but it's still not a bad idea to have. Again, if it doesn't cost money. Now, some states may charge you and there might be other fees involved. So again, check with your state, check with your CPA and all that kind of stuff. So then you have to file your sales tax report with your state. So here in New York, I had to file it every quarter so I just started last year here in New York, and I had to, because I moved to New York, and I had to do it for a whole year every quarter. And then I just got a letter in the mail a couple weeks ago telling me that I was not paying enough in sales tax, so I do not have to do it every quarter. I can now do it every year. So just yearly. Yay! Because literally my report, which again we'll talk about in a minute, said I had sales, but I didn't have to collect sales tax. So I just want to jump in. So Amy says, so should I do this since I'm living in Vermont, but shop mostly in New Hampshire? Will it work in all kinds of stores or just Walmart? So I have found it works in TJ Maxx. Now, TJ Maxx did change their rules last year where I used to be able to just show a picture of my certificate on my phone, and now I have to fill out a form each time. So I have to physically bring that certificate with me each time, and they have to see it. And they say they have to photocopy it, but it specifically says on the bottom of my certificate that it is not to be photocopied, which I've pointed out to them. But they told me it's a new law in New York, so I don't know. If you again plan to do wholesale or anything like that or get ungated, then you are going to probably want to have one. So I do know, Amy, you have a another business. I'm not sure if you have one from your maple syrup business or not. But yeah, like when I go to New Hampshire with you, I don't have to show my card or anything because it's all tax free. So even when I'm at Walmart, I don't pull up my card. So in June 2018, the U.S. Supreme Court had a ruling that said, so it used to be prior to June 2018 that you had to have a presence in a state or what they call a nexus. So you had to, like for me, I have an office here in New York. So anytime I sold something to somebody who lived in New York, I had to charge them sales tax, and then I had to remit that sales tax to the state of New York. Once I opened up to doing like Amazon, and I had stuff in a warehouse, even though it was an Amazon warehouse, in the state of California, they actually went after quite a few of the larger sellers on Amazon and said, which one of them is a somewhat friend of mine. I follow him on YouTube. He doesn't know who I am. But so he actually got charged like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know. It was a big amount. And he ended up having to pay that to California because they came back and they said, hey, you have stuff sitting in a warehouse in California that that Amazon fulfills for you. And because of that, means you have a nexus. And so he had to pay a lot. There is a lawsuit going on right now trying to recoup the funds that a lot of people ended up having to pay. But bravo for us. Most platforms now, so in the 2018 ruling, it said that you do not have to have a nexus. You can be living here in New York and sell something to the state of Idaho, and you have to collect Idaho sales tax. Well, could you imagine registering with every state and territory in the United States? Like that would be so much work, and then having to collect all that. So there is a website called TaxJar, which I don't use, but I've heard referenced a lot, that was people were using to do that kind of work for them. But now most of our platforms that we sell on collect sales tax for us. So if you're on Amazon, eBay, Mercari, and Etsy, they all collect that sales tax for you. Unfortunately, Poshmark, I don't think they collect sales tax. So if you're selling on Poshmark, that could be an issue. All right, no questions. Move on to the next slide. So that was it for sales tax. If you have any questions on sales tax, let me know. I probably won't be able to answer them, but oh well. Okay, federal income tax. When do I need to report taxes? Excuse me. So a lot of people think, oh, I sell on eBay and I only sell stuff from my house, or I only make $5,000 a year. I don't have to claim that on my taxes. Well, some of that is right and some of that is wrong. So if you are selling stuff that's your own items that you've purchased and you've used in your own house, and you're having like a garage sale, and that's the only stuff you're selling, you are not going out to other garage sales, you're not hitting thrift stores, you're not buying stuff from anywhere and flipping it onto eBay. If it's just your own personal stuff and that type of stuff, then that is okay. The IRS, which there's a link right there, says that you can just do that type of stuff, selling your own stuff. So you went out and you bought a LL Bean jacket for $80 and you wore it for the last 3 years, and now you're going to sell it on Poshmark for $20. And so that's fine. You cannot claim a loss. So if you bought it for $80 and sold it for $20, you cannot claim a $60 loss on your taxes. You just don't claim anything, right? It's your own item, it's garage sale. Now, if you are a hobby, a part-time, or a full-time reseller, it doesn't even matter if you just sell a few things a year. If you are buying anything and flipping it, even if it's like just fourth quarter and you're going to chase after that hot toy and that's the only time you sell is during November, then you still have to claim that as income on your taxes. That just want to check. Good afternoon. Hey, Nana. So Posh does now. Oh, good. So Posh does collect sales tax. Awesome. You know, I put this together this morning really, really quick, and I went to go into my Posh and check because I sell on Poshmark and check and see if they do any sales tax. So thank you for letting us know that. So a 1099, so you'll get a 1099 from your platforms. If you sell on eBay and you're not part of managed payments, PayPal will send you a 1099 when you hit certain thresholds. So in this case, you have to have $20,000 in gross payments. So that includes if you charge shipping and somebody pays you, that includes the amount of shipping that they are sending you, like all of that, like whatever they're sending to your PayPal account, it includes that. So $20,000 in a calendar year and 200 payments for goods or services in that same year, except if you live in the great state, the Green Mountain state of New York, or if you're from Boston in Massachusetts, then those two states actually have a lower threshold. Now, when I lived in Vermont, all I kept hearing when I started on eBay full-time was that $20,000. And you can imagine my shock when I got a 1099. If you're over $600 in Vermont, you will get a 1099. So be ready and be prepared that no matter, even if you don't even get a 1099, you're supposed to report it on your taxes if you are not just doing your own garage sale stuff. Okay? I will be happy when eBay collects in every state. Yeah, that'll be nice. If just every state would pass that law, it would be good. Although if you lived in that state, you probably wouldn't be happy with that. Report all gross income on your tax report for all platforms, even if you didn't receive a 1099. So again, even if you sell $1,000 for the whole year, you're still supposed to put that on your taxes. Okay. If you're actually making a profit from it, you're supposed to put that on your taxes. It doesn't matter if it's a 1099. So let's say you get a 1099 from PayPal for your eBay sales, and you get one from Macari, and you don't get one from Poshmark. Okay, so I did put in parentheses, I forgot to say, it says not Poshmark. So Poshmark is not sending 1099s. That's what I've been told. I don't know, because I don't hit that 20,000 threshold with Poshmark, but I have been told that they do not send one. If you ever got audited and they were looking at your bank account and they're like, oh, wait, what's this deposit from Poshmark? Then you could get in trouble. So if you're doing sales on Poshmark, even if you're not getting a 1099, you should be reporting those as income. So let's see. So if you are a sole proprietor in an LLC, and I'm not going to get into all the like when you should do this and when you should do that, because honestly, I don't even really know. I am a sole proprietor. I've read up on the benefits of an LLC, and I just don't really feel like they're really beneficial for me to become an LLC. And again, if you live in California, cha-ching, you'd be paying $800 a year just to have that LLC next to your name. So I am a sole proprietor with a DBA doing business as, and then I have my company. So I do my taxes on a Schedule C with my husband in my tax form. So it's all on. So my husband does not have to be part of my business in order for us to do it on our taxes. So we just do it on our tax form. Now there is an S corp that you can get, and I've watched some YouTube channels. The Bearded Picker, he's got Jared on, which at the end I kind of talk about Jared. And he talks about the benefits of when you should become an S corp. I'm not at that level. I mean, I do 100,000 right now. Well, last year I did $100,000 in sales online, and I'm not at a level of being an S corp from listening to Jared. So I never will. I did not hit that threshold either. Okay, I was just reading messages. So let's talk about expenses and cost of goods. So hopefully you're all set with this. This is just kind of the income part. People always are asking about the expenses. What can I expense? So it's important to know that when you put on your taxes, let's say, so I get a 1099 from PayPal saying I sold $24,000 on eBay, which I don't, because I'm on managed payments. But if I did get it from PayPal, so it would say so you wouldn't be paying taxes on that $24,000. You now can take the expenses, and I'm good at taking my expenses, so I end up paying taxes on a lot less of a dollar amount. So common expenses you can deduct. So cost of goods, that's going to be its whole section we're going to talk about later, okay? And on your Schedule C, they'll ask some of these specific categories. So returns is one that you need to break down. When you're filling out your Schedule C, it'll ask you specifically returns. So let's say you sold a sweater for $20. Somebody got it, and then they didn't like it or whatever, and they sent it back to you. You have to claim that $20 in income, okay? And then you're going to have a return of $20, whatever you refunded them. If you only refunded them $10, because you can do that on eBay and do up to half, and then you would just put $10 down for the return. So you'd still have to pay, you'd still have that $10 on income. So returns, and then office supplies. So pens, ink for your printer itself, although depending on the expense of the printer, it may be something that you would put in as an asset and depreciate it and all that. But again, talk to your CPA. Envelopes, poly mailers, boxes, packing tape, printer labels, glue gun, your box resizer, razor blades, postal scale, scanning gun, bubble wrap, paper, tissue paper. Anything that you use on a regular, not even on a regular, you can be a one-time use, right? You buy something and you use it one time. That is something like I sold a big pool, and I had to buy some of that like plastic wrap that you wrap all the way around it. And like like that saran wrap stuff. It was a huge roll. So I bought that to wrap that instead of buying well, I don't even know how I'd buy a big box because it was like really huge. Weighed 128 pounds. So so that's probably a one-time use buying that wrap, because I don't know if I'll ever do something that big again because that was a pain. But anything you buy to use in your office. If you are on YouTube, okay, I just bought like a thing to put on my dashboard so I can put my phone on it and record those whimsical chats that I have with you. So that type of stuff, that's all something I can put down as a business expense, my GoPro, that type of stuff. And then mileage, I just make sure there's no questions. Wanted to jump in and show a little support, do my own taxes, and do all this. Going to package some sold items. Well, thank you, Nana. I really appreciate you stopping in. So mileage. So you have two different ways of doing your mileage. You can put in your per mileage deduction, which this year it went down half a cent. Last year it was 58 cents. This year it's 57.5 cents per mile, or your actual expenses. I do the per mile. If you have a car that is both personal and business, then if you do actual expenses, you would have to keep track of what percentage of time you're using it for both. And I don't know. I don't want to deal with that math. So I wanted to show you. Oh, hi, Myra. Thanks for stopping in. I want to show you the app I use. All right, so I use this app. I'm way behind, so whatever. Let me see. All right, now I got to wait for YouTube to catch up because I can't tell if you can see it or not. So I use this app called Mile IQ. It's $5.99 a month if you pay monthly. $59. No, I don't remember how much it is. There is a discount if you pay by the year. And also it's a business expense using apps like this. Okay, I'm going to try. Yeah, I can't even tell because there's such a delay, but this is the app I use. And it doesn't help when the phone goes off. Oh gosh, see, I said entertainment. So up here it shows that I went from home to Norwood, and I would look, and some of these will say like home to Walmart, because you can preset once you start using it, you can say every time I go to Walmart, call it as a business expense. So you would swipe. So this was last night and we went and got ice cream. So this was personal. So I take it and swipe this way, which means it is personal. And then it says different things. I'm just going to say cancel because it says, so it was telling me, was it business, medical, visiting family? Who cares why? It's personal. So business, you can actually swipe and put it into, I was outsourcing, I was doing, like you can say whatever. And then at the end of the month, it'll tell you a total. And then at the end of the year, it tells you a total. It is so cool. Like this is the best thing. So it has like a GPS tracker in it. And if you're one of those conspiracy theorists thinking that Big Brother's watching you and traveling and following you everywhere, you may not want to use it. I love the time saver. So I have it on here and it follows me wherever I go. And then as long as I have my phone with me. So when my husband runs to the post office every day and does my post office run, it doesn't pick up that because he doesn't have my phone with him. So if I'm in the car going anywhere, so even if I'm in his car or my car, someone else's car, it doesn't matter. It picks up. So I can deduct that mileage. I love it. Really love it. So I know there's other apps out there that people use, and some people just use a logbook. I used to use a logbook, but boy, when you're garage sailing, it is so hard to determine exactly how much you go, especially if you're like me and you're lost and you have to turn around all the time. So I like it because it picks up even when I'm lost and have to turn around. So let me see. So mileage, is it still done on form 2106? I don't know. I use TurboTax and it asks me questions and I put in numbers. So I'm sorry, I don't know, Myra, what form it's done on. So Penny wanted to know, do y'all have some kind of spreadsheet you use? I would like one that you put in date, price of purchase, date listed, etc. So I do know some people that use that, which we'll talk about when we get to cost of goods. And what's the name of that app? It's called Mile IQ. And if you're on your phone, this is probably really tiny, my spreadsheet. But it's right here, Mile IQ. I really like it. I usually do just mileage based on my receipts, but I guess it wouldn't help with garage sales. Yeah, I used to do it based upon my receipts too, but what if you ran to Walmart to find some basketball cards because they're hot right now and they didn't have any, and then you came home, or you may have picked up groceries for yourself and then you came home, so you don't have a business receipt because you didn't buy anything for the business. Well, even though you went out and came home empty-handed, you can still claim that mileage. So that's why I like Mile IQ, right? Because if you used your receipts, it wouldn't help if you didn't buy something. So a lot of people say, well, can I claim mileage to the post office? Yes. Garage sales, thrift stores, when you're doing retail outlets, retail arbitrage, travel to conferences. So back when they had like eBay open, and eBay was going to be doing these like local ones all around the country, and even though they got canceled for right now, if you were to go to some of those, if you go to a trade show, like I went to a trade show in February, it was 3 hours away. I drove to that. I get to claim the mileage driving to that trade show. So expenses, so subscriptions, so like that Mile IQ, I get to claim that as an expense. If you use GoDaddy bookkeeping, which a lot of eBayers use GoDaddy bookkeeping, I use Inventory Lab, which is an Amazon well, it's not an Amazon product, but Amazoners use Inventory Lab. I do all of my accounting in Inventory Lab, which I think I'm going to do a separate video on that to show people how to do that, because I don't know if Larry is in here, but LL Stash, he was saying that he at one point Inventory Lab had a deal where you could pay for like lifetime. That would be awesome. And so he did that, and he has it, but he doesn't use it. So I'd love to do a lesson on how to use Inventory Lab. So for Amazon, I have the Inventory Lab. I got Keepa. I got Aurora. I use Enroute, Brickseek. If you subscribe to YouTube so you don't have to watch commercials, this is educational expense watching YouTube. You can claim the costs for YouTube. So that I jumped over this Keepa, Aurora, and Enroute. So Keepa is, if you're an Amazon seller, it tells you how often something sells and at what price. So it's great if you're outsourcing to know whether or not to buy something. Aurora is a repricer. It's auto repricer. So if you do sell on Amazon, it'll automatically move your prices up and down based upon the buy box and other sellers and Amazon and all this other stuff. And then Enroute is an app that I use where if I'm going to go out because there's a really good deal at Lowe's right now, then this app I can put in Lowe's and I can show like where I want to travel to, and it will put a little pinpoint on every Lowe's store that there is, and I'll say, okay, yep, these are all the ones I want to go to, and it will show me the best route. So I use it when I do travel RA, and especially into areas that I am not familiar with. And then Brickseek is something that I use to find out what deals and markdowns there are at Lowe's and Walmart and other stores, Target, that kind of stuff. Okay, no new questions. So expenses and cost of goods continued is, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast for people, or maybe not talking fast enough for some. I just want to try and fit this all into the hour. Platform fees. So you can also expense your eBay store subscriptions, your Amazon professional account. So if you're paying that $40 a month to sell on Amazon, your final value fees, your PayPal fees, right? When PayPal has that 2.9% plus 30%. If you get on managed payments, you'll be able to do that, the managed payment fee for that. So any of those types of fees that you're paying for, your 20-cent listing fee on Etsy. And then your shipping expenses. So remember how I was saying how you're going to put, PayPal's going to send that $10.99, and that's inclusive of shipping if you charge shipping, or even if you include shipping into your price. If you sell a $40 item and it's costing $8 to ship it, your sale is really, it's going to show as $40, but your income is really $32. Well, then of course minus all your other expenses like cost of goods. So shipping. So your eBay shipping to Amazon. Like I ship packages to Amazon, which again I use Inventory Lab, and it breaks it down for me and tells me, it keeps track of all my Amazon expenses are tracked in Inventory Lab automatically for me. If you use Pirate Ship, there's great reports within Pirate Ship that you can print that will tell you exactly how much you've spent on shipping for the year, month, whatever. FedEx, UPS, PayPal, if you're using PayPal shipping. So that's all tax deductible. Your legal and professional fees. So if you do hire a CPA, you can put that in as an expense. Fees paid to groups you belong to. Like I took a break from Ecom Empowerment Group. I was a member of that. If you join some Patreon groups, member of the Secret Beach. So any of those types of things, you can actually claim that as a professional fee. If you buy a course, stuff like that, that's all, educational and stuff. I put that in as professional. So insurance for your business. So if you are an Amazon seller and you do more than $10,000 a month for 3 consecutive months, you need to have coverage for Amazon. So I have coverage for that, and I get to claim that on my taxes. So I did see, okay, I looked it up, and mileage goes on Schedule C for sole proprietors and the 2106 if it's expenses for employees working for someone else. Okay. I don't do employees. I don't have to deal with employees. Advertising, business cards, your promotional fees, like your promoted fee listings on eBay, or if you're promoting them on Etsy and Amazon and whatever. Thank you cards that you put into your package, that type of stuff. If it's like a coupon or anything like that, those are all considered advertising. If you're paying for Facebook ads, I actually took out a Facebook ad last year on a bundle that I had created for Amazon, and it wasn't getting much traction. So I had put in a Facebook ad. It was like a $5 a day limit, put it on for a week just to see how it would do. And you get to claim that as a business expense. So then home office expenses. So I do want to say that I know that in order to have a home office expense on your taxes, your space needs to be specifically for your business and your business only. So if you are running your business off from your dining room table and you clear a space off and your family still sits there and eats every now and then, or there's other stuff in your room that is not just for your business, you cannot claim a home office expense. It has to be specifically for your business. So like this space I have, this is only my business. There's nothing else down here in this area that is not business. So I get to claim the square footage for this. So there's 2 different ways you can calculate that expense. There's the actual cost. So you can do your mortgage interest, your insurance, your home utilities, real estate taxes, and then you figure out what your square footage is, what percentage. So let's say this was 15% of my whole house. Then I would be able to take 15% of those expenses. Or there's the simplified version, which is $5 per square foot. So you still got to figure out what square footage is your business. And you can do up to $1,500 a year, which is 300 square feet. More expenses. I tried to fit these all in one slide, but the font was getting tiny and tiny, so I had to do extra slides. So travel and meals. Hotel expenses when traveling for business. So like me, I'm taking off tomorrow, going on a retail arbitrage trip, and I will be spending the night in a hotel. I get to claim that hotel, as well as what we talked about earlier, my mileage. I get to claim my mileage, which is why, again, I love that app, because I will probably get lost and have to turn around. And if I was just saying, oh, I'm going from here to here, and sometimes when you look up mileage, it's as the crow flies. It's not even like driving mileage. So I like that app because it'll give me exactly what I drove. All right, so retail arbitrage, conferences. So again, if you're going to eBay Open, if you're going to Posh Fest, things like that. Trade shows, if I went to a selling trade show to meet up with some wholesalers in February, and I get that mileage going to that trade show. Airfare. So if you're flying to what used to be eBay Open or Posh Fest, or you're flying to the trade show, ASD, I think that's what it's called, the big one that's in Las Vegas a couple times a year. If you're flying out to meet with some new wholesalers, or companies for wholesale accounts, then you get to claim your airfare. And then meals. So it's only your meals, like you, the person, you, the business person, not any other person that's with you. So when my husband's with me or my mom goes sourcing with me, I do not get to claim their meal. It's only my meal. And you need to be traveling for business. And I couldn't find it, but again, I'm not an expert, and I'll keep saying that. I am almost 99.9% sure that you had to travel further than 30 miles from your house in order to claim a meal. I'm probably wrong, most likely, but that's what I've been using, which is why I say I'm probably doing my taxes wrong. If I'm sourcing all day, but I'm 10 miles from my house and hitting up all those stores, and I grab lunch there because I don't want to have to come all the way home to eat, I don't claim that as a meal. I probably could. Again, I'm probably wrong when I'm saying this, but when I travel 30 miles in this other direction to the other town where the stores are, I do claim the meals when I go there. So you can claim your actual expenses, which is actually 30%. So if it costs you $15 for your meal, you can claim $7.50. So it's 50% of whatever your meal cost. Or you can do a per diem. So for someone like me who worked for the government, whenever I traveled, it was always per diem. And that is based upon the location of where you're traveling. So if you're going to Honolulu, Hawaii, your per diem is a lot higher than if you're going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Their per diem is very low. So, because it's so much cheaper to eat in Oklahoma than it is in Hawaii. So it's all based upon your location of where you're going. So you can choose which one, but I would say whatever you choose, use that for the whole year. Don't flip-flop. I claim my meals went out. Hey, Marcus. Yeah, I keep all my receipts. If I hit through McDonald's just to get $1 soda, I keep that receipt and I hang on to it because I claim that $1. I just got a soda. So cost of goods. So there are two ways of reporting your cost of goods. So this is cash versus actual, and it's actually cash versus, I heard this, accrual. It's a little while ago. I wasn't sure what they were called. So it's cash versus accrual. I use the accrual method up until, I think it's 2 years ago. You could only use the accrual method. You could not use the cash method. But when all those tax changes happened, then the cash method came out. So the difference is, and I don't know much about the cash, I'll just tell you what I do. But the cash method is you go out and you buy a bunch of inventory. And let's say you spend $1,000 on inventory. Okay. You can claim that $1,000 on your taxes as inventory without it even selling. Well, what happens is that the next year, let's say you sell $5,000 worth of stuff year number 2, you have no expenses to put against it because you expensed everything in year 1. So I don't like that because I do big numbers and I don't want to be stuck with $100,000 income bill. That would be a lot. So I use the accrual. So the accrual method is you go out and you buy $1,000 worth of stuff, but you don't actually get to claim the expense of buying that bottle of Goo Gone. Okay. Let's say I went and paid $2 for this. I can't claim this bottle until I sell it. Once I sell this to Amy Raymond in the chat, then I can say, okay, I paid $2 and I sold it to her for $5. So I have $3 of profit on this. Now, if I did the cash method and I had claimed the $2 last year, when I sell it to her this year, I would now have to pay taxes on the $5 of profit. That's how it would look. So, so how do you keep track? And that was a question somebody asked. I can't remember who. Penny. So I track. I'll tell you how I do it, and then I'll share how I've seen other people do it. But so I only expense. All right, so we'll only talk about actual, so which really is now actually called accrual, my terminology. Yeah, see, I made it up because I wasn't sure what it was called. So I expense only the cost of goods when the item sells. Track your costs when you purchase your item. So many people use Excel spreadsheets. They go out, they buy stuff. I think if you're a very large seller, you probably want to get a system that's more than Excel. But if you're not a large seller, then Excel is good. You just put in what you buy, where you bought it, well, the date, where, how much you paid for it. And then this is how I used to do it until I went to Amazon, and then my volume is way too much for me to keep track of. But you would put, then I would go and I'd put how much it sold for and then how much my fees were. And it was kind of nice to see at the end exactly line by line for each item. But I don't care now. I just want to know overall how much money I'm making. So I put in on my custom SKU on eBay. When you're listing something, there's a custom SKU box. So if you're on your phone on the app, under the item specifics, it's usually the very last thing. And on your phone, on your computer, if you're listing like on a laptop, it's, I don't know, it's towards the top. It's before you put in like new or used, I think, something like that. And you can put in whatever you want. So for me, I put in, and if you've been following me, you've seen me mention this a number of times. So behind me is all my inventory is in totes. So I put in, if I listed something and it's in tote B3, which is what I put something in this morning, it'll say B3. And then I put in like WM for Walmart, GS for garage sale, because I just bought some stuff from a garage sale. So I'll put like GS for garage sale, and then I'll put 0025, which means I just paid 25 cents for that. So I have my own terminology that I use within my custom SKU. So I'll know how much I sold it, or how much I paid for it and where I sourced it, right? Some people will even put the date. They'll put like June 2020. Then if you are somebody who likes to use the, I'm talking about eBay only, the sell similar feature. So you end something and then you sell similar, since we have that good till canceled, then you'll always know, even if you relist that in December, you do cancel it and do sell similar, it'll still show June 2020. I don't do that, so I can actually sort by date listed and see that. But if you're somebody who does that, then that's good to put in there. So I do know that Poshmark, Etsy, and Amazon, they all have the ability for you to put like a custom SKU. So I don't use that on Poshmark and Etsy because everything that I put on those platforms is on eBay. So I put everything into eBay. And then when it sells on Poshmark, I go and take it down from eBay, and then I take the information from the custom SKU there. I do that purposely, so it makes me go back to eBay to find where it is first. And so I'm kind of forced to go look it up on eBay to remember to take it down from eBay. Otherwise, I would probably forget to take it down from eBay, and then I would sell it on eBay and not have it. So that's how I do it. But if you're just mostly a Poshmark seller and you don't sell on eBay, then you can use those features on Poshmark. It's something they just added like within the last year. And then Amazon has their FNSKU or something like that. It's called, FN stands for something for me that I say. But so I put on, same thing with Amazon. I use Inventory Lab, and I have it so it will automatically say to me, well, Inventory Lab tracks it. But if you're not using Inventory Lab, you can do the same thing when you're setting it up through Seller Central. I used to, before I used Inventory Lab for that 2 shipments I did, I would put in, like, I would say Gugon, and then let's say I got this at Home Depot, I would put HD for Home Depot, and then I'd put 0200 for paying $2 for it, which I don't even know. Actually, I bought this on Amazon, so bought it from a friend. So you can use that on Amazon also. So that's how I do it. And then once a month, I take that information and I put it into Inventory Lab for everything but Amazon, because Amazon does it for me, or Inventory Lab does Amazon for me. So I go back and I take my eBay sales, and there's an income section within Inventory Lab, and I add all my sales into Inventory Lab, and then I take all of my expenses and I put them in. So that's what I do for Inventory Lab. There are other tax programs that are out there in inventory ones. Like I know there's GoDaddy and QuickBooks. I used Excel for the longest time, and I actually have a really cool Excel spreadsheet that if anybody wants it, you can leave a comment, or actually, I guess I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. You can send me your email address and I can send you over the Excel spreadsheet that I used to use. I had tabs and it has like fancy formulas. And so like tab 1 would be like for the year in review. And then each tab was for each month, and it would actually feed into the main tab. So I'd use that for taxes. So I do have that, but it's so cumbersome versus finding a system, an automated system. So what about garage sale items? So I have I love notebooks. Honestly, I think I'm a paper junkie. And I have like notebooks like this, Vera Bradley one. And I keep these in my car. And I would go to a garage sale. Some of my family is in the chat here. I see my mom had just showed up. And I go to a garage sale, and when I leave the garage sale, I will like write down quickly what I found at the garage sale. So I'll say, okay, I was on Smith Street and I picked up, and like if it's a neighborhood, I'll just write down everything that I picked up on Smith Street, like, oh, I picked up a Simpsons. What did I pick up the other day? Simpsons Clue game. That was at the thrift store, but I would write that down. So I do that for all of my purchases at garage sales. And then I take that and I put it with my taxes for the year. So my folder, I'll keep that notebook, and then I will, if it's a full notebook, I'll just put the whole notebook right in my folder and then start another notebook for the next year. And that way, if I ever get audited, they can see that I've taken the time to look to like keep track of how I'm sourcing when I'm at garage sales. I have a thrift store too that doesn't give me receipts. They don't do receipts. It's a church run one. So when I leave there, I'll do the same thing. I'll write in there that I was at what the heck was the name of that? What does it? Guess doesn't matter. Whatever church thrift store, and I'll write their name and then what I purchased at it. And then again, I use that when I'm listing it to remind myself, oh yeah, I paid $3 for that shirt, and that's what I put in my SKU. So what do I do with my receipts? Yeah. You don't want to know what I do with my receipts. So I'm somebody that listen to what I'm saying, but don't do what I do. I do have a scan. I bought one of those things you put your receipts in and it scans it. Yeah. I bought it last year, probably around this time. Haven't done it. Haven't even hooked it up to my computer. There are things that you can photograph, and my plan is to digitally save everything, because I don't know if you've ever looked at a receipt. So right now I have this right here is just from this last 2 weeks. These are my receipts. And so I'll bring them upstairs and use them for the month. But I don't think I have, none of these are that old to show, but a lot of the receipts that have, I don't know what it's called, but they use it at the place where my daughter works. But after a while, they start to get really light and you can't even read them. So having the ability to scan it and keep a file of it. So even on your iPhone, you can take a picture of it, which is what I did one time I had to send receipts to Amazon, and I just took pictures with my phone and sent it to Amazon. But take a picture, and then you can actually take your photos and put them into folders and then transfer them to your computer. But just make sure you back up your computer. So if your hard drive crashes and you've thrown away all your receipts and you get audited, you got something to back it up. All right, so Texas Bandit, thank you, Tamara. I made it just in time to say damn and dial it back on rewind. Yeah, make sure you come back and watch. I turn all my receipts into digital. Marcus, you're so smart. You should be teaching this. So I like to say what to do, but yeah, I'm not always so good. And because I'll even admit that it is June 22nd. Yeah, I've done no accounting for this year. Like none. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I'm so stressed over it too. But I'll get it done at some point. But I need to hire a CPA because if I can say, all right, do I take 2 days and get my accounting caught up, or do I go out shopping? Well, that's an easy question, right? I mean, or an easy answer, go shopping. So I need to get a CPA so I can have somebody else do this. I can make more money shopping than doing my taxes. All right, so cost of goods. Anybody have questions on that, or expenses? Because we're actually almost to the end. Doing pretty good. 12:56. So I'm just checking, making sure there's no questions over there. So tips. I'm going to end with some tips of software. So again, the ones that I've heard of that are out there, like I use Inventory Lab. So Inventory Lab is $49 a month. It's really not worth getting unless you're an Amazon seller. If you are an Amazon seller, I can't even imagine life without Inventory Lab. Like that is the number one expense that I have that I couldn't even imagine not having, because that program is amazing. I wish that they would integrate into the other platforms somehow. I wish they would look into that, because I would pay to have the ability to have information from eBay be pulled into that. Like I would pay for that. But a lot of people use GoDaddy, and there was questions about whether or not GoDaddy is going to work with eBay managed payments, because I think right now GoDaddy pretty much is being pulled from PayPal, and they have said that that there is some APIs still going to work with managed payments too. I paid for GoDaddy for my first year of doing eBay like 4 years ago, and I honestly never did anything with it. I liked my Excel spreadsheet, so I just did that. And GoDaddy is really good if you have, which we're talking about, your own bank account. So if you have your own credit card and your own bank account and whatever, it can actually go into those accounts and pull stuff. So if you're not, still your expenses, obviously your income would come from like eBay into GoDaddy, but it's not going to know that you just spent $20 buying some more 4XL labels for your Dymo printer. So QuickBooks, I've heard a lot about QuickBooks for small businesses, and I also had heard that there's a mileage app or something to do with QuickBooks that has mileage with it. So if that's something that you're using right now with QuickBooks, you might want to look into that mileage if you're not using that part of it. Excel's great for a small, low-level seller. As you grow, Excel is extremely difficult. And then I've heard about this Wave accounting, which is free. I was just watching, I don't remember who it was, but they had mentioned that Wave accounting. I've never used it, but they say it's free. I probably can YouTube it and get some reviews on it. So Amy says that I'd suggest hiring a CPA so that they know all the loopholes and rules. Yeah, we have hired one and they found more stuff we could claim that we didn't know we could. That is so true. That's why I keep saying I really want to hire one. The ones that I'm going to reference later, one of them, he says he doesn't hit people until they're at a certain threshold. He doesn't work with them, and I'm not at that threshold. The other guy, I don't know. And I think it's important that you hire a CPA that understands inventory and online reselling. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of online resellers don't understand online reselling. All right. So keep business and personal expenses separate. Checkout. I'm like, what's checkout multiple times? So when I go to Walmart, of course, I use my reseller certificate so I don't pay taxes. I check out with all of my business items first, and I don't pay taxes on that. And I have a receipt that's all business. And then I have my personal items later. So if I see something that I wanted from Walmart and I grab it and I'm not planning on reselling, I'm going to keep it for myself, then I'll put that on a different receipt. Okay. Plus I'll pay taxes on it because it's illegal to not pay taxes on something that's for your personal use. Unless, of course, you live in a tax-free state. So I'll check out multiple times, even at like a thrift store, at the Goodwill or something like that. I'll just do it separate times. Bank accounts, keep them separate. So I had a bank account that I started using. It's a personal account. It's not a business account. You don't need a business account if you are a sole proprietor. Some people get confused with that because they're like, oh, there's higher fees when you have a business account and thresholds and all that. If you are just a sole proprietor, you can go and open any bank account. I have a credit union account. It doesn't cost me anything for it. And it's just nice that everything is separate. But if you are an LLC, then you have to get a business account. And at that point, you may have to pay fees depending on, your relationship with the bank and what their rules are. Whoops. Credit cards. So get it. If you're going to use credit cards, which is what I do. I mean, some people don't like credit cards and they don't use them, and that's fine. I use a credit card. I put all of my purchases on the credit card. Every single month I pay that credit card off. I do not pay interest on my credit card. If you cannot handle doing that type of thing, you're not good with credit cards, you have a bad history with them, do not use credit cards then. Okay. It's hard to leverage and grow your business, in my opinion, without the use of credit cards, unless you have, a sugar daddy or something that can help you, that can fund stuff. Because if you want to sell $1 million on Amazon, you got to have $1 million to spend on product, or not a whole $1 million, but enough to spend to get to $1 million. So I use my credit card, I pay it off, and I took a free cruise in January. I used what I had gotten for rewards from that credit card, and I paid for my cruise and my airfare, all free. So do your accounting monthly. Don't be like Tamara. Although I did not wait until April 15th, although this year we have until July 15th. So if you've not done your taxes yet for 2019, you have until July 15th, but normally it's April. Don't wait till April 14th of each year to figure out what to do for the previous year's taxes. Try and do them monthly. I need to listen to my own advice. And then you need to keep your tax return and receipts for 7 years as a business. If it's a personal tax return, no business on it, it's only 3 years. But if it is a business, 7 years. And then please talk to a professional. I am not a CPA or a tax accountant. Please contact a licensed professional. A licensed professional that I know that have been experienced with reselling. So I have seen on YouTube, I've not spoken to either of these, but there's a gentleman, I don't remember his name. He's with Not Your Dad's CPA. Okay. So you can Google him. You can even put him into YouTube and watch some videos. They don't really get down. The ones that I've watched don't get down to the nitty gritties of like what I just said, like what can you expense and that type of stuff. But you can kind of get a feel if it seems like the personality wise of somebody you want to work with. And then there's Jared, who I really like. He's the one I see the most because he's on the Bearded Picker show, and I really love Scott from the Bearded Picker, so I watch him a lot. But Jared, he seems really cool. So both of those, and there may be others if you know of anyone else, okay, especially ones that would take on some smaller sellers. Please let me know in the comments. You can let me know here, but you can leave in the comment, and I will actually add it to any future shows or slides or whatever, just so it's there for anybody coming on later. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this so I can just talk to you guys so you can see my face full-fledged. Maybe. Streamyard. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so that is all I have for taxes. All 11 of you got to watch about taxes. Does anybody have any questions? Making sure I didn't miss any messages. I don't think I did. I think I saw them all. So that's it. We're at the 1 hour mark anyhow. And I'll see y'all next Monday. If you have questions as you're watching this, if you're watching on the replay, or you have questions later on, then, oh, wait a minute. I got something really cool I wanted to show you guys. This, I was supposed to show it at the beginning. Oh, taxes. What do we do? And I didn't even show my, like, I have like a beginning thing I created for the show. And of course I forgot to play it. Either way, if you have questions, please leave them down below. And I'm going to finish with my new slogan, which I say it wrong every time, which is follow your dream on the yellow brick road, right? Find your scarecrow, tin man, and the lion in your family, in your life, in your friends, your YouTube friends, right? I can be, let's see, which one would I be? Well, depending on the topic, I could be all three of them. Sometimes I don't have a heart. Sometimes I don't have a brain. And sometimes I have no courage. So if you're going with me on garage sailing with an iPhone in your hand, I'm probably the lion because I don't have much courage. That makes me, ooh. All right. So find those people, wrap them around you in your success, and follow your yellow brick road to the Oz. And when you get there, you'll find that you've had it all along to do what you needed to do for your reselling business. So thanks a lot for stopping in this week. I really, really appreciate you guys. And if you don't mind, if you're not following me, subscribe to my channel, hit that thumbs up. I would really love for the thumbs up so other people can get this message and watch this wonderful show about taxes that I know nothing about. And I appreciate it. So see you next week. All righty. Bye.